Jonathan, the rawest dog of them all. Thank you so much, my man. Yeah, we are here to showcase BioShock 2. The last time this was in the GDQ was SGDQ 2014, 9 years ago.
That's wild.
It's come a long way since then, and in the last month, there's been about 10 minutes of time save over the course of the run, which we'll get into. It's not free time save. Every little trick in this is super scary, so a little bit nervous, but we'll see what's going on. Joining me on commentary is none other than Brian Otto.
I'm back. Thank you. Thank you so much. I wonder, it feels like this is like a tried and true combo at this point. We've shared a lot of GDQ runs together, so thank you so much for having me. Love the BioShock series, and I'm ready to go.
And a little bonus for you guys at home. If you want to see him on couch for longer than this run, he's also going to be part of that Halo 3 run. So just did the Elder Scrolls stuff, which was awesome. He's going to help me out on this one. He's not a runner of the game, but he's here to just kind of keep the vibes up. And then if you want to see him on Halo, get those.
That's a game I actually know. So,
yeah. Anyways, let's get started. We can go through some stuff. This is BioShock 2. We're going to start from a save file. We're playing on easy in the original game, not the remastered. Important to know. People always ask that. All right, we're going to load in, and once we get past this load screen, time will start. We do this just to get past an intro cutscene that you can skip anyways, and then a waking up animation. So we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! Good luck.
And we're off. So we'll address the elephant in the room of why this game looks the way it does in just a moment, but we got a little speed tech to get through first. So we wake up as an Alpha Daddy, Subject Delta. In the first game, you just play as an Alpha Daddy. A little new entry to the series. This game does a little bit of additional stuff on one, but we're going to grab this optional diary. Very important, coming up here in just a second. This is not something you need to pick up for any real reason. This adds a little bit of flavor to the world. We're going to run past the splicers. We don't really care about them. And we're going to get this required dialogue. So we're just going to play that message we just picked up so we can skip all that and get Electrobolt, a very useful plasmid. Our first little skip of the run. And now the biggest question I always get for this is why does it look like we're playing in Play-Doh? Usually you're like, oh, you would just play on lower settings so you have higher FPS for some crazy trick. That's not the case for BioShock 2. We actually play at 60 frames because it doesn't matter. But the game has a really bad crashing problem. If you've ever tried to play it, you've probably run into that. That's tied to medium and high textures for whatever reason. So just playing on low, having the game look like this, you should probably not experience any crashing. It could still happen, but it's just kind of unlikely. Anyways, that was a big sister, a new entry to the series. We'll get to all this in a little bit. We got some time. First, we just need to turn on the power. Get the splicers out of here. So there's a lot of look-based triggers in this game, meaning that we need to look around a certain area for something to activate. So we're going to get the power turned back on and Adonis here. This is kind of our introduction back into Rapture. Because this game does take place after the first game. And we meet Tenenbaum, a familiar face from the franchise. There's going to be a lot of little lore stuff at the beginning, and as the further we get into the run, it's going to go out the window real quick. So we get a rivet gun, kind of our first real taste of combat besides melee. It's not going to stick around for very long, but it's kind of nice. So another little sister, and we already saw the big sister, but now we're going to kind of get the mechanics of how to fight her. It's a timed fight, meaning that we basically just have to kill time. Once that timer goes up, it checks to see if either we've taken enough damage as a player or we've dealt enough damage, and it's much faster just to take damage. So we're going to let her spawn in, say highlight. Okay, so the fastest way to take damage is for her to attack these boards with fire, setting them on fire, and we can just kind of run into it, and you can see our health in the top left just deplete instantly. And now we just simply wait. We also want her as close to this door as possible, because as soon as that timer goes up, she's going to do this big screech attack and then run off and run towards that door. So she's kind of jumping around. It's not super useful, but it's just a couple seconds of time save if you can get it. All right. So the fight's now over. We can't die here, and neither can she, so it's not really a big worry. We're going to get our health back here in a second anyways. If you're fast enough, you can see that there's two big sisters here. It's not just one. And a fun little fact about this part is the window's going to break and water's going to flood in. It's actually going to teleport us to a different part of the map, which you can kind of see. It's very well hidden, right about there. So the map changes, and we can control ourselves in the water, try to float towards the exit for a little bit of time save there. This is one of the big selling points. As a Big Daddy, you can go outside of Rapture. You can go in the water. It's not something you can do in the original game.
This is good.
You don't really do a whole lot in the water, just kind of cinematics, kind of padding the runtime of the game. But you get some nice scenery to look at. You get a little plane wreckage, fish that are just kind of stuck there.
Is that the plane wreckage from the first game?
I think it's supposed to be. People always say it is. I'm not sure if, like, lore-wise it's in the right spot, but we got some jellyfish. They're kind of just chilling. The music's great. So the first game has the big bathysphere ride into Rapture. This is kind of supposed to be imitating the same thing. We're actually not going to look at it, not for any, like, real reason, but there's a fun thing you can do if you just kind of hug the side and look down. So you can hear the
swells.
Yeah. So there's supposed to be, like, fish swimming by and everything. And if you look down, you just don't activate it, so the shark's just going to stay over here. It's kind of chilling out. Our next big trick comes at the very start of the next level. So as soon as it loads in, I'm going to do a quick save. Because like a lot of tricks in this game, you really get one shot at it if you just go for it. So quick saves are our best friend. We're going to see a lot of quick save, a lot of quick loads. It's not something I love having to do, but it's kind of required. So the diary picked up before the optional one. We want to play on the exact frame. An NPC is going to start their dialogue here. Okay, so we didn't get it there. A little too early. A little too late. So it's frame perfect, so you have to kind of adjust it based on your quick save.
What am I looking for here?
So on the bottom right, we want the message to pop up and immediately go away. If it sticks around and you hear the audio, that means we didn't get it. A little too early. So like that.
Nice.
Audio goes away. And now you're going to see that happen throughout the entire level. That trick persists throughout the entire level. So all the audio is going to pop up and immediately go away. There's a lot of spots in this level and the next where you have to kind of wait for dialogue to play out before you can continue. It kind of just stops your progression. So all of that now gets skipped, saving a ton of time. There is some dialogue we can't skip because it's hard-coded into like an in-game cutscene, which we'll see here in just a few seconds, but it still saves minutes over the course of the run. This is a run where money does matter to some degree. We're not really like stressed about finding money along the way. We find plenty, but you can see the drill fuel in the bottom left-hand corner. That's our fuel gauge. We can do a drill attack with it by holding down the right click. And later on we get drill dash, which is the more important thing. It's kind of a faster movement. So there's a spot where Sophia Lamb, the main protagonist of the game, is going to pop up. Her stuff goes away, but we have to kind of listen to this. So just a little background on the story of the stuff we skipped. And we won't ever get to the end conclusion of it, by the way, so no spoilers. She was kind of the political rival to Andrew Ryan from the first game. And he wasn't a huge fan of that, so he had her sent to Persephone, which is a prison. And she had a daughter, Eleanor. And Eleanor was sent off to become a little sister. And surprise, surprise, we're a Big Daddy. So we got combined. And then Sophia Lamb came back to Rapture to take control after Andrew Ryan met his demise. And she's not very happy that we've taken her daughter as our own. In the intro cutscene, she actually takes her back. We go through this whole part of dying and then being reborn. Like, so
it's interesting that this game has a lot of the same like visual beats that BioShock 1 does at the start. You know, like the reveal of Rapture, the main antagonist on like a bunch of screens talking to you while splicers attack the window.
Yeah, it tries to recall a lot of the similar themes from the first one. It does a pretty decent job. It's just a lot of people play these games for the story, and this, compared to 1 and Infinite, doesn't really live up, but it has much better gameplay overall. You can use both a gun and a plasma at the same time. There's kind of more to explore, the more world-building stuff. So
I've always thought that like if BioShock 1 had the gunplay of this game, it would be, I mean, you know, close to a perfect game, if not perfect. Like I always felt like that was like the main thing that really held it back.
Right. So if you see me fast looting stuff, I'm just using interact on mouse wheel up, so I can just spam my mouse wheel and pick stuff up. This is Eleanor, our little sister. She's all grown up, and kind of that's our whole goal, is to get her back from Sophia Lamb later in the game. Whether we do that or not, you got to stick around to find out. She's going to leave us kind of presents along the way. This is the most useful one. It's telekinesis, the most broken plasmid in the entire series. It is great. It is wonderful.
Something's never changed.
Yeah. It did get a slight nerf in terms of combat between 1 and 2. It doesn't do as much damage when you throw something, and it uses more Eve. But it doesn't use any Eve if you pick stuff up and use it or drop it. So as long as we don't throw the object that we have, we don't use any Eve, which is kind of nice. In the top left, you can see the red and blue bar. That's health and Eve. They max out at 5. I try to keep it as high as possible. There are some skips where you just like burn through Eve. And obviously we want health to be pretty high as well. So at all times, I'm going to try to keep that at 5.5, and then the drill fuel all the way topped up. So I'm just using explosives to play out the splicers. So while telekinesis is super, super broken, which we will definitely see later on, the way that this level's laid out, it is very vertical, as we're finding out now. So it's not very useful here. And the next map, which is the bane of all BioShock 2 speedruns, Ryan Amusements, it's completely unbreakable. So it's not very useful there either. But trust me, it's home to some silly stuff. So I want to give some shout outs to the community. KPC Zombie is an absolute beast at finding every trick imaginable. He found a lot of the splicer surf technology that we find now. A lot of the community has since approved upon that and optimized it, but he found all the proof of concepts. He's like, hey, what if we just clip through this wall or clip through this door or fly through the entire map? Wink, wink. So huge shout out to KPC for being the one that really break the game in the more modern scene. And also shout outs to the multitude of new runners who've come along and taken a peek at stuff and optimized it. Huge shout outs to Gulch too. He is the current record holder. He took it on Friday when I left on Saturday to come here. So not too happy about that, but we'll grind it out when we get back.
He bided his time and waited on.
Myself and him have both been grinding this game lately, trying to get sub 40. I was the first to do it at 39.46, and then he beat me with a 39.25 or something like that. So huge shout outs for that competition. It's always awesome to see. Now we're going to do a little bit more combat. Get him out of here. We got introduced to trap rivets on the right up, kind of alternate ammo that you get. Every weapon has 3 types. It has normal, then 2 special ones. Trap rivets you place on the floor, and if something runs over it, it takes damage. This is Tenenbaum. You can really see the low graphics at play here. It's something. So her stuff can't be skipped, but typically Sophia Lamb comes on the television, and all of that stuff's going to get skipped for us. She's going to run off. And then we have a little fight to end off the level. There's 3 waves here of splicers. It's always going to be right side, left side, and the 3rd wave is random. So we're going to put down some trap rivets over here. Let them run into it. Okay. Let's go ahead and use some explosives, and then they should be over on this side. Yep, okay. So the security alarm doesn't really matter. We're going to be out of the level before the bots show up. A little bit more dialogue to skip. You'll see it pop up in the lower right. Boop, boop, and we're out. All right, on to Ryan's amusement. So that's a core of the run so far. The first 3 levels of this game, this is the second one that we're leaving here, is half of the run. The other half are the last 6 levels. It's pretty crazy.
Sounds like the anthology run we just watched.
Yeah. So when we load into Ryan Amusements, we're going to see a block of ice that we need to melt to move on. You're supposed to buy Incinerate to melt the ice. There's other ways to melt ice later on, including a barrel. We have to do another diary skip here, by the way. But that ice doesn't become meltable until you buy Incinerate, which is a huge problem. So we're going to do a quick save here. So because you save at different times every run, you kind of have to adjust based on your quick save.
So you have to do this at the start of every level?
Yes.
Okay.
So once you leave a level, it goes away. This is kind of a tricky one.
But it will persist through a save on that level?
Yes. So
okay, that's nice.
No matter what you do in that level, as long as the game doesn't crash.
The game reaches a certain state.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just glitched out for forever.
And how do you determine whether you're too late or too early? Is there
So for like, if you're just getting into the run, it's a little hard to tell, but you can look at the subtitle text and like know the message that's popping up. So that was too early, because I saw the text change.
It's nice you could just redo it like this. It's so important.
Yeah, the only problem with this is if you quick save, quick load a bunch in a row, it can potentially crash. Let's see here. Get a little bit of music.
Nice little tune though, yeah.
There we go, okay. Usually I'd like to get that within 5 tries, but it's not too bad.
I can only imagine it saves a ton of time, like collectively.
Because this level's not broken, we can't skip a whole lot. We go through a lot of those sections that have the required dialogue. So it saves even more time here. The splicers yelling is always the best part of these runs.
Damn.
They definitely don't have any chill. So this is a power to the people machine. You get your weapon upgrades here. The only thing we're going to get is drill damage, just so we can do some more melee damage. The drill is very, very, very strong, and you get a lot of stuff to kind of upgrade it. So I'm just going to buy out this hack. This is the first hacking minigame, or second hacking minigame, I should say. They kind of changed it between 1 and 2 from the pipe puzzle that you may remember. This game tries to keep you a little bit more immersed in the world, so instead of taking you to that menu, kind of just does it that way. So we're going to pick up our machine gun, and this basically replaces the rivet gun at this point. Just kind of does more long-range damage. So we had to go and get our golden ticket so we could go into the park. And now this is Orion Amusements. He's going to be a little nice and give us a couple tonics. It's our introduction to these. They're like plasmids, but they're just kind of like equipable things that help you out. So that's Sports Boost. It lets you walk faster. You know, free time save. Why not? So now we're on our way to get ourselves a little sister. Not Eleanor, but just another one. We're getting another tonic drill power, so we get more drill damage, which is pretty cool. And you can just go ahead and go away. So this level, once again, so it's a tutorial. It's going to showcase the new and improved escort mission, because everyone loved that from the first game. They really doubled down on it. I'm just leading the Big Daddy back towards the beginning, because that's where we need to go eventually anyway, so he should charge. And then a really good way to do early damage is Electric Bolt and just the drill. There's the little sister. Just pick her up so you can see all the dialogue we'd have to sit through. So she's R now. All right. Sorry, buddy. So now in order to get enough Atom to buy Incinerate, we have to go harvest 2 bodies. And there's no way to speed them up. It's simply on a timer. In the first game, it's based on killing enough splicers to move on. So the faster you kill them, the faster she's done. But you're going to see the bar pop up on the left-hand side. And we just want to make sure that keeps going up. If splicers start attacking her, she pauses. But she's just going to do her thing. In fact, we're not going to even fight the splicers here. This game has sort of a cap on how many enemies can be spawned just to save resources. And it doesn't save any time to do this. It's just kind of a fun thing to do and showcase. If we don't kill the splicers here and they stay spawned in, when we get to the second harvest, we shouldn't see any splicers at all. So we can just kind of relax for a little bit, maybe get some beautiful donations from Covert Muffin. You know what? Let's go ahead and get one. Do a little test run.
All right, sounds good. Well, donations have been coming in because we are just $17,000 away from making that Halo 3 bonus game. Let's kick it off with a donation from GH Cosplay with $25 that says, first time donating to a GDQ. Had to donate during BioShock 2, a favorite of mine. Good luck, BloodThunder.
Thank you so much. All right, she's almost done. She's going to drink up the Atom she harvested. The door behind me is based on a look trigger, so it's not going to open until I look around at it. And splicers are going to immediately jump out of it, so just to make it a little bit easier, I wait until I pick her up so I can just get around them. Pick some more out. And this is the only ride in Ryan Amusements. It's not a really great park. It's kind of just propaganda that Andrew Ryan put together to say that the surface is bad and you shouldn't go there. Which, speaking of which, if you're wondering why we're an Alpha Daddy, I believe the lore goes, it's been a while, so maybe...
I'm not the lore guy for this one.
Maybe a little wrong, but I believe you are initially like a diver that stumbled upon Rapture and being sold out by someone that we won't meet later on named Stanley. So the second harvest. Andrew Ryan was a little fearful that we were going to tell people on the surface, and then so he turns you into a Big Daddy. I believe is the lore. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That's a place we might show up. I hope not, because we need to do a little cleaning around here. It's a little dirty. see what's going on. So we're gonna pick up some stuff. The wonderful music of Doggy in the Window. And this beautiful view of Rapture.
What a great vista. The enemy cap on this reminds me of like the modern Doom runs.
Yes.
Same concept, I would imagine.
So you know you run a game a lot when you have strats for like meaningless stuff, like cleaning up, just putting away the tools. Oh. Try again. We don't have control over the way things spin when we're holding them with telekinesis, so it's a little, I'll take it.
Good enough.
Yeah. All right, while she's doing that, we're gonna take some damage. If you fail a hacking mini game like we did there, you take a little bit of damage. It'll never kill you. It'll always get you down to 1 health if you just keep doing it. So she's just about done. And we were setting up for a death warp, which means we want to intentionally die so we go back to one of these Vita chambers. It's in here somewhere. Oh, in the corner over there. We're not going to go to that one, but just so we don't have to walk everywhere all the time. This walking's pretty slow. We're going to die, so if we respawn at one of those early on in the level. Also, if you see me doing like these weird jumps and like moving all around, it's just because I kind of get tired of just walking in straight lines. Adds a little bit of flavor, and I like to pretend it's on.
I mean, it looks like you're strafing. Like, you could have just not said anything. I would have, thought it was tech.
Okay, so splicers are still getting me down to 1 health. They can shoot the barrel, which is really annoying, so we want this. There's another barrel we can grab. It's a little time loss. They also got us down to 1 health, which is cool. We're going to double check that's 1 health. We don't want to actually assume it is. I'm just going to drop this down here. And so now that we've harvested both bodies, we have the ultimate choice of do we save or harvest the little sisters.
Bro.
And so you might want to look away because it's not pretty.
Oh.
I'm sorry to say, we do in fact harvest them.
Dang.
It's in the name of speed.
Oof. That's a big price to pay in the name of speed.
So now we have the atom, we can go on a little bit of a shopping trip. We're gonna double check that we're at 1 health, and then we need to die specifically in this corner, because this corner is like right below the Vita chamber, the main lobby. So we can skip all the way back.
Nice.
Because this game is a big fan, and the whole series really is, of showing you the obstacle you need to overcome. So the iceberg at the beginning of the level is what we're trying to overcome. And then we have to go do something and then come back to it. So anytime you can go back faster, it's gonna work out pretty well. So we're gonna do another death warp here in a little bit. But first we need to do a little bit of shopping.
And the death warps, they're just based on your proximity to the nearest respawn point, effectively, right?
For the most part, the ones that we're abusing and why these work, we don't really understand the full reasoning of why they go where they do. And Poppers Drop, the next level, it really doesn't make any sense, but it is really, really nice that it works out.
Cool.
So I need to be a little careful with my health because there's a lot of stuff potentially. The splicers are a little random. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. Hey, I'm gonna need to just go away. So now we also get introduced to the fact that if you deal with little sisters, harvesting, saving them, whatever it is, you eventually spawn in a big sister who kind of hunts you down and tries to fight you. We do actually want to fight her because she has Atom on her, about 40 of it. And we need that as well for the shopping trip.
Jeez.
But we're going to kind of stack 2 things together. So we're going to go wait at the train station because we have a little bit of cutscene that we have to wait through. So if we can stack that waiting with killing the big sister, kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So this door here is locked, so we just death warp past that, a little bit back towards the train station. So you can hear the big sister doing those screeches, and those mean she's like teleporting and chasing us down. And our goal is to have her spawn in this little room. It's a little bit based on like where you're looking and stuff. So Sinclair's gonna come out. He's supposed to lead you through the game. We're not ever gonna see him again, to be honest.
I like to look a man in the eye when I give him my word. You and me, kid, we're going places.
We sure are, Sinclair. You guys should pop up. Once again,
awesome.
so a little lecture bolt, the 1-2 shock. Gonna pick up the stuff, and we're off.
That's a cool trick. That's a cool trick.
And that's half of the run. Like I said, the first 3 levels are as long as the last 6. So things are about to speed up quite a bit once we get in the Popper's Drop here. We got time for a donation.
All right, well, this is on par with what you just did because we have $25 from Nico that says, excited to see the best BioShock game get its due at GDQ. Big Sister says, which means please donate for the next bonus game. I love Halo 3. At least, I think. My evil screeching to English dictionary is a little old.
I think that was a pterodactyl. But
Well,
I
that being
appreciate
said,
the effort.
You're a couple octaves below a little sister there, a big sister, I think.
We'll work on it.
And that being said, we are just $16,000 away. Can we get there, audience? Let's go, chat.
All right, Popper's Drop. Once again, you're supposed to go over to this area, this Enclair Deluxe. You start a quest line to go and get Drill Dash and learn about brute splicers and photography. We're just going to immediately make our way towards the camera. This is a part of the game you could skip with all the stuff. We're going to buy a plasmid slot so we have an extra plasmid that we can play with. We're going to fill it with decoy. We're going to buy Winter Blast and put it over top of one of our others. I need to switch that, actually. I messed that up. Drill Lurker there. And we'll go over what all of these things do here in just a second. So we actually want to get rid of Electrobolt and have Telekinesis here. Luckily, there's a Gene Bank, so I can fix that real quick. Okay, so now we have 4 plasmids, and we're going to keep these 4 for the rest of the game. Here comes a really weird trick that's based on keeping a brute splicer alive and spawned in the map. So we're going to put down a decoy so that the brute starts attacking him. It kind of draws enemies towards it, so you can kind of just run off and do your own thing. And now we need to go get the research camera. This is typically where the brute will run off and despawn, and you're supposed to chase him down, but he's still fighting, so we're going to freeze him in place. Keep him loaded in a little bit longer.
I see where this is going.
We got the camera. Now we need to take a picture of this guy so he can open the door. And we hope the brute's... Okay, he teleports over there. That's fine. And so to get research points, you have to use different plasmids and weapons. So we're just going to Winter Blast him so he's frozen. Hit him with Incinerate so he melts, and we get enough points to Drill Dash.
Wow.
And we do all that before he just teleports away, and we have to go chase him down.
That's a massive skip, isn't it?
Really,
That's
really
like
slow.
huge.
Yeah. So now we have Drill Dash, which we'll talk about once we get a little bit further into the run. For now, we want to take a little bit of damage. And then we're going to use this splicer for what's known as splicer surfing. It's a huge trick that if you watch the run from SGDQ 2023, it was in that. And it's a little bit different in this game. I might need to redo
It's so
setup.
sick that it's in this game, though.
Yeah, okay. So we need to be able to walk directly on top of the splicer's head. We can't drop onto it or jump onto it, otherwise we start bouncing and fall off. We need to be directly able to walk on top of their head.
Wow.
Sure. So, because it's using a splicer and we need them to be alive initially, we only get 1 shot at it if we don't quick save, quick load. So, okay. You're going to see a lot of saving during this part because it can go really, really wrong, really, really fast. She should stand. Okay. Splicers are a little weird. Okay. So now we need her to die. So you're going to see that I'm kind of like going along with the splicer. I no longer have collision. And we're tied into this splicer here. So we can use telekinesis to pick up this body while we're tied to it. We also have to save load anytime we're on a body, otherwise we fall off. So we're just gonna fly up. We need to land directly in this window. So all of these tricks can go a little bit wrong.
I love the dead body management you're doing to like get the exact precise position.
Yeah, we'll talk about the ways to manipulate these splicer surfs. So this is a little bit slower, that's what we're looking for. This window's a little deceptive, where we actually have to land. One of the harder splicer surfs we get to do, and it's the first one. Okay. Whoa. Okay. We need her to like stay right on that little frame. We do want to go out of bounds here, but we need to set up. Okay, perfect.
Nice.
So we're gonna save load because once again, we can just always fall off. Now we're gonna clip through the window and then try to grab her at the same time.
Look at you, sport. A regular junior shutterbug. And it appears you've picked up a new trick from that big galoot. Now get back to the Sinclair Deluxe and just bust through that mess blocking your way.
I'm trying, Sinclair.
Thank you, not Atlas.
So now we're like out of bounds. We're gonna go through this window, up through the floor, and now we've clipped all the way past the Sinclair Deluxe.
Picked up a new trick from that big galoot. Now get back to the Sinclair Deluxe and just bust through that mess blocking your way.
Also, if you save when a message is playing and then reload, the message plays from the start again. So if you like fail that same trick over and over, you just hear the same dialogue repeat. It's great. This is the second morality thing that they try to implement in this game. So you have the little sisters while you save or harvest. And there's 3 people that kind of contribute to where you are now as a big daddy in the whole story. And then you can either like kill them or let them live and like You have the secondary system running on. Grace was the one that was in charge of protecting Eleanor when Sophia was away. She got taken, and she blames us for doing it, although it wasn't our fault. For a long time, we let Grace live here because it was just faster to just leave. But it turns out she has not only money on her, which is really nice for drill fuel, but also an auto hack dart. So, in the name of morality, we're going to choose speed.
Your call.
Bro.
So we're going to pick up the ticket that we need for the train. She's taking a nice little nap. And this death warp is going to send us all the way back to the train station at the start. There's a lot of fighter champs that we hit on the way and a lot in this area, but for whatever reason, we go all the way back to the start, skipping a lot of walking, putting the key, and back on the train. And that's Popper's job. It only gets crazier from here. The game's way of progressing us through so far has always been the train. You get on the train station, you have to clear the path for the next one. That kind of goes out the window here, and we get back into underwater sections. And there's some really fun stuff you can do with that. We get a little bit of a quiet ride here. Sometimes the audio bugs out, not in a good way, but it's fine. So we got a little bit donation.
All right, excellent. Well, indeed, we have a lot of donations coming in, chat, because we have raised 62,000 out of 77,000 that we need to hit for that bonus game. And we have a $250 donation from Pattern Match that says, I'm a simple woman. I see a bonus GDQ game, I donate. Thank you so much, Pattern Match. We also have $25 from MukiLX that says, always happy to see any BioShock at GDQ. And I always try to donate when it's on. Get him, Mr. B.
We're trying. All right, so now we're waking up in the Siren Alley level. We just saw the place we're supposed to go to, Dionysus Park. And now we have to go do something else and come back. Unfortunately, like, there is a way to clip in there, but the level exit isn't available. So we're gonna go find Simon Wales, who is like the cult leader, follower of Sophia Lamb, the leader of the Rapture family. So the lore's not super important for the run, but we're just gonna drill dash through here. So these speed ups through here cost about 25 drill fuel each. We're gonna do a hard save real fast because this can go really wrong really fast. So drill dashing whenever we can is really, really nice. But we don't actually get the...
Mother of mercy, I think
gonna
that
freeze
was
this guy in
Simon
place.
Wales. What's he done to
We're
him?
gonna stock up on a couple things, buy some drill fuel.
Himself?
All
He
right.
and his brother were Rapture's
So
architects.
it's very convenient splicers line up the way they do for these splicer surfs. So we're gonna wait for him to back up, freeze him in place,
Kind of church.
just kind of lead him over here,
Expect a wreck.
try to bait out an attack. There's a couple other splicers in this area that we need to be a little kind to us. So we're gonna put down decoy to draw their attention away. And we don't want to immediately try to kill the splicer here, because if they're in Winter Blast, they just kind of shatter into pieces. So we're just gonna use Incinerate to melt them. And once again, we're just kind of in this weird state of being a ghost, but we're tied to the body. Decoy's probably about to run out. So we need to take this body and throw it up to the second level here. Whoop. Trying to bounce off this wall. Just think of every part of this game having like duct tape on it, and as soon as we hit it, we tend to stick to it and fall out of this state. So it is very easy to mess up, and we're gonna use this body to clip through this door. Okay, we get stuck here, we got to the side, and we're through.
Nice.
All right. So Siren Alley is home to a lot of like fighting. You're supposed to find spider splicers and go through these big waves of fights, but we get past the big one there. Drill dash through the map, pick up a mini turret off this body, and we're just gonna get some supplies along the way. So whenever we can drill dash if we want to, it saves about 2.5 seconds approximately per dashing. Which, you know, for one dash, it's not a whole lot, but you have to add that up over the entire run, and it's minutes of time save, so it's really, really, really nice, very important to do. Like, we could skip drill dash entirely. We have the ability to, but it just saves so much time that currently it's not worth doing so. So kill out some enemies.
It looks way cooler too. Like the
Yeah. So we're gonna spawn in this brute, and we're gonna block his path. A lot of enemies like spawn in and then like have a certain animation they do, so he'd normally run towards us, but because we're in the way, we just kind of keep him here. And now with Winter Blast, you can see that I'm using that for like every fight. it keeps them in place, so it's very easy to do damage, but there's also like a second health bar that's a little lower. You can kind of see where the image in the middle there's differed. You can see the ice part going down much faster. As soon as that hits 0, even if their health is, at half, like over there, they still will die all the same. But you have to keep them frozen the entire time or it resets. Yeah. So that's like the only boss fight, Simon Wales. We're gonna pick up some stuff. And normally we're locked in here, but we're going to Death Warp using these boxes and a little bit of fire. In BioShock 1, you can just use Incinerate on the floor, which is really nice. In this game, you can't do that, so you have to like light certain props on fire. Just gets us out of waiting. We could try to find some sort of diary skip for this level too. It's just not worth it. With where diaries are based in this level. So I'm just going to drill dash it back. We've flooded the area. For a little slow here, we can see the water pop in.
May rise from its body.
Time for a quick donation?
Yes.
So we have $25 from Dr. Construct that says, let's get that Halo 3 incentive met. And indeed, we're going to keep counting down, chat. We're still $14,000 away, but that number that we have left remaining to make that bonus game is quickly dwindling. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing from BloodThunder here for the BioShock 2 run, the raw dog that he is, then we should get that Halo 3 met because that speed run is going to be amazing, right, Bri?
Yes, it is.
Looks like the good fathers kept up with
We're traversing back through the level we came into, but now it's all flooded. We can access Dionysus Park. There's a fun thing you can do here, and we'll kind of see it later on as well. Water takes away your ability to have plasmas and weapons out. You're not supposed to be in any sort of combat. Just taking the nice scenery. But because we did Death Warp, this airlock still has it so we can actually use our stuff. So we pull out the drill dash back into the water, and now we can just kind of skip the scenery. You get into Dionysus Park. So the full power of Drill Dash is on display in the next level. There's a little bit of Splicer Surf we do at the end, but the main time save here is Drill Dashing. And if you want to play along at home and in Twitch chat, let's see if you guys can count. Just for every Drill Dash we do, see if you guys can keep track.
Dionysus Park was owned by Sophia Land.
It's also very important we don't hit walls or objects because they can just throw us into a stun lock state, which is not great. So we're just going to constantly buy drill fuel as we run through here.
You have me counting now. I'm kind of annoyed.
And you know what? Twitch chat could even donate the amount of drill dashes that we actually end up seeing BloodThunder do.
Attention. Subject Delta has drained and infiltrated Dionysus.
So Dionysus Park is home to the second of the 3 morality NPCs that you're supposed to meet. Stanley, the one that sold us out to Andrew Ryan. He's waiting at the train station, so we'll see him in passing, but not really. We're just going to run past every enemy because at this point, combat's pretty meaningless. That's why we don't really bother upgrading it much else.
Well, the good news is I've located a new train car.
Go for a little skip.
But the
You can jump over that rock. It's like a second time save. Not really worth going for.
In the security booth. I'll lay low while you have a gander.
Buy a little more fuel.
Dionysus Park was my home, Delta. An experiment in
We're almost to the train station. Take this guy out real quick. So here's a grenade launcher, another present. We're going to use this in a little bit. It's super, super useful. And we're going to make a save because as soon as we open the store, there's a splicer we're going to set up right there. Once again, very convenient that these splicers are just in the perfect spot for these tricks to work out.
It's amazing that, I mean, it just looks like these setups are so convoluted, but every single time you have one, like, just in exactly the right spot.
Yeah.
Almost a miracle.
The next level is like the perfect showcase of that. We don't really have time to talk about our showcase because we're going so fast, but the way that telekinesis works in this game is really interesting compared to 1. So in 1, the crosshair is in the middle for telekinesis, but because we have 2 hands in this game, surprise, surprise, telekinesis is actually offset to the left of the crosshair. So if I'm looking at the splicer's body, right about there is where telekinesis pulls to. So if we're on the left-hand side, it's going to go that way. Everything pulls from the center of the splicer. We're just going to clip in here real quick, hit the lever, and move on to Fontaine Futuristics. This level takes a while to actually end once you hit the lever, and usually it shoots you up to the top, which is kind of weird. It doesn't look like that's going to happen this time. But most maps have these intro outros that kind of just ease you into the next part. Fontaine Futuristics goes away with that. It just says you're going to play the game, go fast. And it's really important we go fast because there's a splicer that's walking to a spot we need him to be in. And if we're too slow, he's not going to be there. So we need to get there real fast. This is the longest level in the game casually. It consists of 2 separate parts, Fontaine Futuristics 1, Fontaine Futuristics 2. Super well named. And the glitchless run, the glitchless record, it's about 18 minutes. It shouldn't take us anywhere near that time. So Winter Blast actually stacks. You can keep him frozen for longer by like just hitting him multiple times. So I'm just going to jump up here, get on his head, and he's going to be our friend through the chaos that's about to unfold. So we're actually going to place decoys so the door opens a little bit early. So we're going to take him for a little bit of an adventure. So there's this intro part, then there's an underwater section, the first Fontaine Futuristics level, another underwater part, Fontaine Futuristics 2, and then you finally go back into water. We're just going to see a lot of water. So we're going to hopefully just throw this down through the airlock. Not good stuff in the wall, that's really awesome. So if the body's moving when we activate this airlock, it'll actually start floating up, which is not good because we're going to hit the ceiling and fall off the body. So to stop it from moving, we're just going to hit it with a Winter Blast, freeze it in place. And now the water's going to rise up and take away our stuff, but if we are swapping plasmids, when that happens, we can actually just keep them out. And we're just going to take this body for a little bit of ride through the water.
Whoa.
And the water only goes so high up, so if we like fall back down into it, it'll take our plasmids away again. Okay, the body's just flying. That's fine. We're just gonna so take it for a little bit of a ride. Throw it over there. We're gonna go through a no-player zone. I'll explain it in a second if I have time. We should magically pop into the final part of the level. We're not done with this body yet. That's FF1 we skipped. We have to skip FF2 as well. So yeah, we landed in the water. I'm just gonna wait for this to rise up. We're gonna throw this body. Not in a place I love. So if we're in the water when we're doing this, we just spam swap plasmids on reload and we pull them out, which is great. Telekinesis doesn't want to throw. Okay. So now we need to clip back and bounce, which is super scary. It kind of turns into Plinko here real quick. Ooh. I don't love that for me.
So is there anything you can do to influence it at this point, or are you kind of at the mercy of...
So I think I saved in a spot where the game wasn't super happy I saved, and it kind of knocked me off the body. We might just wait for it to... Okay. Whoop. I just gotta wait. There's a lot of desync that can happen with bodies. Yeah, if I don't move, we're fine. Okay. This is recoverable. So wait, just wait.
So is the body currently floating to the top of the water, or?
He's going somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not sure where.
Okay.
He's going for a little bit of a ride. Okay. We should be able to make this work. It's a trick that like it's gonna change every single run because it's not gonna be in the same spot all the time.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we can make something happen here. And we clip back in bounds. Let's
go. It's tricks like that, I feel like that really showcase like a runner's skill and ability to improv in scenarios that they probably didn't expect to find themselves in, especially on a stage like this. So that's awesome. Way to be.
I wasn't scared of that trick. I am scared of this one. I've been telling people all week, if I get this in 10 tries, I'm happy, so...
It's a big number.
We'll see what happens. Outer Persephone is where you're supposed to find Eleanor. You go through this big cutscene with her and Sophia Lamb. And if you've played this game, this is where the little sister part takes place. You go through the world of Rapture as a little sister, and you see what they see. We don't have time for all that, unfortunately. It is a really great part of this game. We're going to pick up a proxy mine. It's going to be really useful here in just a second. A little bit more fighting that we got to do before the run's over. A couple more drill dashes. So we're going to do a splicer surf on this level, but we're not going to use a splicer. We're going to use a big sister. It's a great name, Big Sister Splicer Surf. But you can't use telekinesis on a big sister body, which makes it a little problematic for us. Because we're going to go through this door, which is right at the end. First, we need to activate this cutscene because we need to spawn in the two big sisters. There are two, we only need to use one. So we need to take care of the other and get the other one low enough that they can die.
After this moment,
So we go on a little bit more of a shopping spree. We buy 6 proxy mines there.
As expected.
Okay.
As have you.
Okay.
Is this what she hoped for? Mother and father, locking eyes.
We're going to place down all 6 of these proxy mines. The 2 big sisters are going to spawn up on the right there on that grate. The second one's going to spawn basically where these proxy mines are being placed. It's going to get them both down to basically one shot. And then the second one's going to jump over here.
Oh, yeah, it chunks him.
Okay. So now the fun begins. We're going to get her down to 1 HP. We get to manipulate her AI. So we need her to run kind of towards us. She does a lot of jumps and flips. It's pretty cool. Not looking for fire. Okay. So we're going to abuse those jumps and flips. We're going to get her to jump at this door.
No way.
You might be able to put 2 and 2 together. We're going to get her lined up. We're going to jump off there. Oh, I need you down here. Okay.
You got this, BT.
I just need her to be in the right spot. Okay. So now we need her to do a jump.
This looks really easy. I can't believe this is wild.
We need to basically get on the big sister's head as she's jumping away, and then kill her in midair while she's spinning you around like it's a roller coaster. So we can clip through this door. So this is the scary one. All right, I think
Let's
that's
go,
110.
BT.
And the first one's still. Wait, that one didn't die?
Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. Woo. Okay.
That was sick. In a game filled with like ridiculous tricks.
Yeah, that was the
I don't know
scary
how you
one.
found. I don't know how y'all found
That's
that.
a KPC special right there.
That is wild.
There was an older trick in that same spot, which was even worse, if you can imagine. So we need to do one more diary skip here at the start of this level, and this is the final level. This is Eleanor, by the way. She's now a big sister. Oh, we got the dialogue skip. Okay.
That was quick.
Not too bad. That one's actually based off of movement and not just like a random timer, so it should be the most consistent, even though it tends to be the hardest. So a whole bunch of enemies are going to spawn here, and we're going to grab one of the splicers, which you can probably see where this is going, and we're going to distract the others. We used to kill all of them and then use a brute, and it was super slow and super awful, which is the nature of speedrunning. All right, splicer needs to come around here.
This is an emergency. Subject Delta has escaped.
So I'm bouncing off the head. It's not right in the spot that I need it to be, so just reset. Thank you.
This is an emergency.
Okay.
Subject Delta has
A
escaped.
couple more steps.
Eleanor Lamb has turned.
We actually want the splicer, once they die, to fall down the stairs. That's really good for us there. We're going to put down our decoy.
Is the decoy just basically so you don't have stuff
Yeah, so
getting
this
in your
brute,
way?
yeah, this brute likes to throw rocks at you, which is
Right. I
going to
remember
knock
that.
you off the body. So we need to take this body upstairs. Just going to do a little bit of a U-turn mid-air here.
I see what you mean by getting stuck to the walls. You just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
barely graze them. Yeah.
Let's go out a little bit. Okay. I know we just have to get through this door, and we are done with the run. So I hope you remember the story and all the plot points. There will be a quiz later.
I can't believe we're at the end already. And I guess I should wait to ask before time.
Might need to move the body a little bit.
Because I'm assuming time is coming up, right?
Yes, as soon as we hit this little cutscene, that's time.
Wow.
So we're now escaping a rapture with Eleanor. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite go the way we hope. She managed to find a teleport plasmid, which we unfortunately don't have. It'd be very useful for the speedrun. And a great flashbang to wake you up in case you're sleepy. And this is where the different morality systems come into play. You have this first cutscene, which is based on how you deal with the 3 characters along the way, Grace, Stanley, and Alexander Gill. We only met Grace. And then once you get to the top of the surface, that part becomes about the little sisters, where you saved or harvested them. Unfortunately, we were kind of naughty.
You were really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the run, but morality. You were really bad, BT.
Yeah. And as this is wrapping up, and we see this in the background, I do want to give a shout out to the developers of not only this game, but every game here and every game out there, because they make wonderful titles that we get to play, raise money for charity, have fun. So whether you're in QA, audio, level design, graphics, whatever it may be, if you make the games, thank you so much. So without you, we wouldn't be here. And even though there can be some problems with the game, they're just so much more fun and so much more than that. So thank you. And this is not my only run of the event. We do have Amnesia Rebirth later on in the week, Friday morning at 3 a.m. or something. Not entirely sure, but I will see you guys again for that. Thank you, Bri, for being on
Thanks so much for
couch.
having me. It's always a blast, BT.
Yes.
Good
if you
run,
want to
man.
see him on the couch for longer, that Halo 3 run is still on the table, I believe.
This is your last chance, Chad. Right here.
Indeed it is, and well done, BloodThunder. What an incredible run. Can we give it up one more time for him?